In previous class, we have discussed what is meant by an interrupt, what are the different types of interrupts available, what is meant by an hardware interrupt, what is meant by software interrupt, how internal interrupts and external interrupt, how your interrupt is served, and what are the priority given to the interrupts, and what is meant by polling, what is the difference between polling and interrupts. All these topics we have discussed in the previous session. In this session, we are going to see about the interrupt enable register and interrupt priority register. So, all these topics we have discussed in the previous classes. Now, interrupt enable register. So, interrupt enable register bit pattern I have shown over here. So, it comprises of EA, ET2, ES, ET1, EX1, ET0, EX0. Here, E stands for external. So, in all the thing, E stands for external. And T stands for timing interrupt, okay, S stands for serial control bit interrupt, and X stands for external interrupt. Looking at this, it is understood that EX0 is nothing but external interrupt 0. ET0 means external timing 0 control bit. So, EX means it is external interrupt 0, okay. Next, ET0 means external timer 0 control bit, external timer 0 control bit. EX1 means external interrupt 1 control bit. ET1 means external timer 1 control bit. ES is nothing but enable serial port 1. ET1 in the sense it is reserved. So, these two things are reserved in case of your 8051. It is external timer 2, but timer 2 we don't have in 8051 because timer in 8051 we have only two timers, that is timer 0 and timer 1. So, this particular space, these two spaces are reserved in case if you wanted to extend that particular controller to an upgraded version. So, if you are upgrading and if that particular upgraded microcontroller has ET2, that is if it is having timer 2, then you can use this ET2 register. Otherwise, it is not mandatory that we need to focus on this ET2 register. Then EA stands for external enable access, that is enable all your interrupt. As a common one, you have to enable. Suppose if you are giving this particular bit as 1, you consider it is your interrupt enable register, right? You consider as set bit IE.7. It means that it is your IE.0, IE.1 and it goes on till IE.7. So, if I write this particular line set bit IE.7, your all the interrupts is enabled. You can set the interrupt or clear the interrupt by using an instruction called set B or clear B. That is set B stands for set bit. That is only one particular bit you can make it to set. Clear B, CLR B in the sense clear bit. Here also it is possible for us to clear one bit at a time. So, when you are doing so, it is possible for us to set or it is possible for us to enable or disable your interrupt. When I give set bit IE.7, your assembler when it executes this particular instruction, here it will be 1. It means that all your interrupts are enabled. So, this is the meaning for this particular line. For example, you consider, I am going to write one example, move. I am going to write one example. MOV IE. IE stands for interrupt enable register, comma 08. 08 I am writing. Otherwise, you can write set B. 08 in the sense, in this interrupt enable register, that 8th bit alone is set. So, otherwise, you can write set bit IE.7. It means that the 8th bit of this IE register is enabled. So, with this instruction, it is possible for us to enable any of your interrupt. For example, if I am giving set bit IE.3. So, it is IE.0. It is IE.1, IE.2, IE.3. So here you are enabling, when your assembler executes this particular instruction, your microcontroller will enable the external timer 1 control bit. Okay, so when this is enabled, whenever your timer flag is set, so your 8051 will be automatically put on to your hold. It means that your current operation, whatever it is executing under 8051, it will be on hold and it execute your timer interrupt flag. So when your timer flag is executed, the current execution of your 8051 is temporarily stopped and it follows your timer interrupt handler with the address called 001BH. So this is the importance of your interrupt enable register. Okay, next one is your, so all these things I explained how to use your interrupt enable register. Next is your interrupt priority register. So in what order the interrupts need to be served? And in the previous class we have discussed the interrupt priority of the interrupt. I told like this is the priority of the interrupt. In this order only it has to go. So from highest priority to lowest priority. So on reset of your microcontroller, that will be the highest priority. It is having the highest priority. Suppose if two interrupts are executed at once, you consider the 8051 is going to incur two interrupts, that is serial data interrupt and external interrupt. As external interrupt INT1 is our highest priority, this particular interrupt will get served first before this serial data interrupt is occurring. For example, you consider I am getting INT1 and INT0. In this two interrupts, which is having a highest priority? The highest priority is INT0. INT0 is having the highest priority. So the microcontroller will serve this INT0 interrupt first, then it will serve your INT1. Whereas in case of polling, as INT1 is incurred first INT1 is requested. So in polling, the INT1 will be served first and INT0 will be served later. So polling will serve the interrupts based on the request given, whereas the interrupt priority register will serve the 8051 microcontroller interrupt is executed based on the priority. So to do so, you have a priority register, that is interrupt priority register, whose bit pattern is shown over here. So in this PX0, PT0. So this will explain in detail about your interrupt priority register. So the interrupt priority register is represented with IP.7, IP.6, IP.0 likewise. So PX0 means it is set for giving higher priority for your external interrupt. Okay, this will be cleared for giving the lowest priority to your interrupt 0. So it is your interrupt 0. These two bits, it stands for interrupt 0. So if you wanted to give highest priority, your IP.0 will be set to 1. That is, it will be set. Suppose if you wanted to give lowest priority to this INT0, you will be loading IP.1 with 0. Okay. To have a highest priority, IP.0 has to be set. To have the lowest priority, IP1 needs to be clear. Are you all clear? So next one is your external interrupt, that is INT1. INT1 and for INT1, these two bits will be incurred, that is PT1 and PX1. So this will deal with your interrupt 1. Suppose if I wanted to have the highest priority for this INT1, then this particular bit will be set, that is IP.2 will be set. Suppose if I wanted to have lowest priority to this one, I need to clear this IP.3. or I need to set this IP.3. So this is how you have to use your interrupt priority register. Next, as a general one, I wanted to tell what is the difference between your timing and counting. Timer, in the sense a time delay will be created. I wanted to discuss what is meant by a timer and what is meant by counter, and the difference between these two. Timer will create a time delay. Okay, will create a time delay, whereas counter will count the number of clock pulse. It is the main difference between your timer and counter. So when you wanted to use the T-mode register as timer, then in the signal C bar T bar, you have to place 0 to make it as a timer, or you have to make it as 1 to run this one as a counter. So it is the major difference. So in this module, we have learned how to transfer the data serially, what are the basics of serial communication, what is meant by TI, what is meant by RI, and what is meant by interrupt, what is the difference between your interrupts and polling, and how to use your interrupt enable register, interrupt priority register effectively. Thank you, students. In the next module, we will be dealing with the interfacing program for to interface your hardware module with the software. Thank you, students.